So over the past few weeks, I've had lots of people coming in asking me questions. Danny, how do you, with your effortless golf swing, hit the ball what seems to be consistently over 300 yards? What are you doing? Well, I'm going to share with you a couple of my power moves, things that really work for me. But more importantly, look, I coach golfers just like you. I coach senior golfers. In fact, you've probably seen many senior golfers live on the channel getting 50 plus yards. What am I doing? How am I helping them? I'm giving them basically 2 or 3 of my power moves, things that kind of really enhance their speed through the impact area, improve their contact. I'm going to share with you them today because I think they could also help you gain maybe an extra few yards to your game too. Now, before I get into the video, look, if you're new to the channel, it's your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. I release videos like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus, you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free downloadable practice guide in the description box below. So you probably noticed there, I'm just swinging with one arm. Now, I show you this not to impress you, but to show you that it doesn't always require strength to hit a ball a long way. There's something I'm doing there in this swing that's kind of storing energy, giving me power. And I want to explain what that is right now to you. So power move number 1, and this is really, really important. I always get my golfers to consider this first. Are you storing enough energy at the top of the backswing? Now you'll see with all the long hitters, the longer they swing, the more energy they've got more time to generate power. It's huge. Yes, there are exceptions to the world like John Rahm, Tony Finau, but they are the exception to the rule, right? Majority of golfers who hit longer, swing longer. So I want you to be able to swing longer without hurting yourself. And I get many of my senior golfers who often say to me, I'm injured, Danny, I can't move like I did. I get that. And you might not be able to swing like a pro, but every single one of them, I unlock so much more energy at the top of their swing. I'll show you how I do it. So the first stage is this. You know, I want you to look at your feet. And most of the time when I see people losing distance, they are static. Their legs are very, very stable. They're not really moving very, very much. And when you do this, if these don't move, this doesn't move. If this doesn't move, you can't really turn. It feels stiff and it feels like you can't complete your backswing. Immediately you've lost power. So the very first thing I want you to do is this. You know, you can unlock power with just a simple walking example. So if I, in a sense, walk backwards and forwards like this, okay, what do you notice really comfortably? My lead knee moves forward here, my trail knee moves back, and as I do this, what's happening here? I'm going downwards here, so I'm staying in my angle to the golf ball, which is great. The other thing I'm doing here is this. As this kind of moves in and this straightens a little bit, what's happened to this hip? It unlocks, which unlocks this, which unlocks my ability to make a turn. And it's effortless. It doesn't require anything, yeah? And some of my students don't have the flexibility sometimes to do it without lifting their foot off the ground. So it's okay to let that lead heel come off the ground to help you get that lead knee moving forwards. It's just a walking example, right? Now on the way through, look at this. As I'm coming through, I'm kind of moving, and this is doing the same thing. Look, now my right knee, my trail knee moves inwards towards the golf ball. My lead knee straightens to help me, look, come through here. So I'm literally creating just a bit more freedom in this motion. And you could try this with me now. Just get that sensation here, backwards and forwards. Most of the golfers are still heaving around with their bodies, losing huge power, okay? The second thing in this is we've unlocked the motion here. Well, unlock your head, unlock the movement of your torso. The simple visual for this is simply as you're doing this, pour water out of your lead ear on the way back. So I'm almost looking, my head's moved slightly here, and I'm looking down almost in the corners of my eyes. And then on the way through, look, I'm going to pour water out my trail ear. This way, it makes sense. I've now got water coming out of here. And this head movement here is vital because you try and keep your head still. How are you supposed to turn your torso? You can't, there's a blockage. Again, all these things are stopping you storing energy. So freedom of motion here, and then pour water out of your lead ear here like this. Here, that's allowed me to turn a bit further, and on the way through, look here, I'm pouring water out of my trail ear, and that's helping me, look, get through the shot, okay? So that is power move number 1. Unlock parts of your body here to create that freedom of motion. People are scared of this because they feel like unlocking this motion will help them move around too much. Not at all. As you help your body pivot, okay, it actually stays more stable and more centered. Actually trying to stay still, now the body's frozen, that's when you start heaving the ball, the club all over the place. So unlock both sides of the body first. So let's hit a shot doing that, and then we'll kind of move on to power move number 2. So let's grab this ball, and all I'm going to do here is I'm going to give myself permission, look, to create freedom. Allow my lead knee to move and point almost behind that golf ball. I might even allow my lead heel to come off the ground to help me achieve this. Again, on the way through, look, I'm just allowing myself to walk backwards and forwards. Both knees are moving inwards towards this golf ball. It's unlocking. I'm then just imagining, I'm not trying to keep my head still. I'm allowing it to pivot here. That's going to help me unlock a little bit of power. Again, I'm not going to try and hit this hard. All I'm going to do here is store energy and let that energy come through. So nice and smooth, nice slow swing. Store it and let it rip through, okay? Start with that as power move number 1. So power move number 2, and my students absolutely love this one. So you've unlocked and stored some energy. The next thing is you need to kind of get a sense or a feeling of how to then generate more momentum in this golf club. A lot of times people just don't have enough club head speed to generate power. So this is a real simple example. I've just got something with a weight and it's actually a charger, but it's a great way to kind of visualize and help you with momentum. So I'm just going to put this here for a second. Now, if you imagine a wrecking ball, those big kind of wrecking balls are smashing buildings down, okay? Now, if I do what most people do is this. When they swing back, they move their body, they move a backswing over here and they move the downswing over here. And there's not really a lot of momentum happening in this kind of the end of the golf club as such, right? But notice this. I'm not doing anything here for a second. One, what do you notice now? What's my body doing? How am I creating this swing? Can you see the difference? How am I creating it? What is creating this momentum? And it is subtle movements, it's freedom, it's movements in the feet that create this momentum in your golf club. Now this is really vital, okay? Because when you're stood, and this is what I see, which is a really big power leak, when I see golfers and they kind of get to a golf ball, they plant themselves down and in an effort to gain control, they go bang, plonk themselves down, feet don't move, they're getting themselves ready, they're going through a checklist, and then they expect from there to hit a ball a long way. Not a chance, okay? You'll see with all the great players, there's an essence of movement as they are, in a sense, setting up to the golf shot. In fact, I want you to have a look at this video of my boy Jack. Notice I haven't told him this, by the way, but he's constantly moving. And then just before he goes, he takes this little step away from the target, okay? What's that step doing? It's providing, just if you were throwing, it's providing, look at this, it's providing momentum to this golf club. That momentum sets a chain reaction off. 1, 2. By creating a swinging golf club, you've now got the first start of that power through your swing. So how can you start to kind of generate these feelings? Well, grabbing something like that, you know, and just kind of swinging it and feeling how your body creates that momentum is a great start. And then what you can do is just give yourself the freedom, okay? So what I mean by that is when you stood over the golf ball here, I want you to start with your feet fairly close together with driver. And I do it in different ways. With senior golfers, what I do is I get them to, in a sense here, just before they go, and they're moving the feet around, right? I always get them to move. And then just before, when they're ready and they're looking, I get them to start, just step anywhere backwards or this, any direction. It could be this way, it could be this way. I like sometimes going backwards because it really helps them to kind of open up their hips and improve their turn. But anything that really kicks off the momentum of this golf swing. Now, you don't have to step. You might be able to subtly feel these motions here. If I exaggerate for myself, look, there's almost a pressing down onto that trail foot here, and I'm then pushing off that foot as an exaggeration. That's a little bit more subtle, and you could work towards that. But just starting with your feet together and just getting a sense here, don't stop and go. No, you keep moving, and then go, right? Now, it might feel strange and feel scary because actually there's freedom, but this is really, really important and is a big power move for most golfers. So it's going to look something like this. I'm going to approach the ball, and notice how I approach this. I'm approaching it, and I'm not going to approach it, get myself lined up, stop. Notice the flow to this motion. So I get myself set here. There's a flow. I'm going to start with narrow stance, but the flow to the motion. And then I go. You see that little step and go, yeah? So we're building this motion into your golf swing, okay? It's going to help you generate the speed that's going to really help you ramp up those extra few extra few yards, all right? So get that sensation. Love this. My students love it. They find it a bit scary, but having this constant movement and flow just adds more natural motion, just like you would have, by the way, if you were throwing a ball. So now let's move on to power move number 3. So power move number 3 is to appreciate that impact happens on the trail side of your body. Most of the time, again, it kind of leads on from the first two. If you're very static here, you start hitting the ball like this, in front of your body. When all great players, they hit it on this side, their trail side of their body here. It's the trail side that's delivering this blow, look. This side here, we're not doing this. This is where you've lost loads of energy, okay? So that's really something to really appreciate. Now, what helps me achieve this and really works for me personally, it's one thing I've worked on a hell of a lot recently. So we're at 110 miles an hour. I'm gonna try and get that up much closer to 120. And I do this using a towel, simple exercise. This is a bath towel strapped up with insulation tape, gives you some for resistance. And all I'm gonna do here is this. I've already got the first 2 steps in. I'm allowing, look at my left heel. I'm allowing that freedom of that to come off the ground, okay? This is really important. From here, what I'm gonna do is I even allow, if you wanna hit a ball longer, I'm gonna get my arms raised a little bit higher, but this is really important. From here, I am gonna snap that towel right down here. I am not, look, just turning like most people are doing. I'm getting it up and then look, I'm snapping it down on the trail side of my body there. And I'm really working hard to snap it. Now, automatically, I can sense my body working very hard to generate this snap. And what I love about this is I'm not trying to force it. I'm not trying to, in a sense, think about these motions. The towel is forcing my body to basically work in such a way that snaps this towel. It's absolutely brilliant, okay, absolutely brilliant. So, but to do this, you must have already built the sensation of it's okay to have freedom. It's okay to have movement. Don't lock yourself in. So notice this. Now I'm going to start to ramp up my power. And what I'm doing now is this. You'll see with even some of the long drive guys, they're constantly moving. So you do that. I'm raising this heel off the ground. I'm allowing this knee to come inwards. And then this is the towel look. I'm getting that club up and then I'm going to snap it right here on the trail side of my body. No, I am snapping that towel on the trail side of my body. So let's gradually build this up. Freedom here. Didn't strike that. Bit out the heel. Let's give this another go. Didn't strike it, 270, but look at speed. Speed's up a little bit, right? So, keep going. Awful strike, but I know we can do better than that. So, back here, rip it from there. Wind it up. There we go, look at that. 116 miles worth of club head speed, 316 yards in total. We can still keep moving from there, but all I'm doing here, look, that's nowhere near where I can get. I can get to normally 118, 120 miles an hour plus. And all I'm doing is gradually unlocking, giving myself that freedom. I want you to do the same. Give yourself permission to move. Give yourself permission here to move. And then really sense that momentum in the backswing. And then start to feel that snap. Build it up from there. I promise you, you will gain yardage bit by bit. Have fun with this, all right? Almost like I have said to my students, be a child again, okay, just like my boy Jack. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with one of your friends, and of course, look, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button and the bell. I'll put a free download practice guide in the description box below. If you'd love to see me getting some yardage, click this one out right here. If you'd love to see a student, how I helped a student gain a 50 yards, a senior student, check this video out right here. But until this week, have a wonderful golfing week.